Hey guys, I'm back. On the last video, we've talked about the basic structure of HTML and learned the basic tags. But there are some tags I want to correct which I annotated on the video. First one is the doc type. I forgot to add an exclamation point or whatever you call it and a closing tag on the style sheet. Also on the image, I forgot to add an alternate or alt attribute because this is important in validating our HTML. So hit and save. And now I want to talk about the basic styles, or how are we going to style a certain element using CSS. So go ahead and go to style.css right here. As I mentioned on the last video, we tried to style the body tag to change the color to red. So as you can see right here on the example I've showed you, the background here of the body is a lighter shade of gray. So how are we going to pick this color exactly? We need to open it up on Photoshop, which I posted on the resources on this article. So download it and open it up to Photoshop, and it will take you right here. So click on the eyedropper tool and select the color you want to pick. So in here we'll pick this, and then click this right here, and this will show the hex color of that section. So copy and hit OK and bring back to our styles. Then let's target the body tag by typing body, open and curly braces, press tab, then let's place our property, which is background, and set the color to pound or whatever you name it, then Control V, then semicolon to close it. Hit and save. And if we're going to preview this, now we have a background exactly to the design right here. As you can see right here, all the elements is centered. So how are we going to do this? Install it on CSS. So let's go back into our markup, and on the elements here, the header until to the footer, let's wrap it in a div, and let's add an ID of main wrapper and close this. Like that. And on styles.css, we will target it. So div with an ID of main wrapper. So just type in pound, then Control V to paste the name, open and curly braces. So in order to center a element on the page, in this case, like here, we need to specify a width. In this case, it's on 960 width, so 960 pixels. and we need to tell the browser that the margin on the right and left is automatic, since that we don't know the exact width or the dimension of the web browser. So to do that, just type in margin colon, then 0 for top and bottom, and automatic for left and right. So this is only a shortcut. If we're going to style it manually, you need to type in margin right auto, margin left auto. If we're going to preview this on the browser, as you can see, it is centered. And if we're going to add a background, for example, red, now all the elements is centered. Perfect. So let's delete this. And also, for example, if the website has a margin on top, auto on left and right, and 0 on bottom, in order to do this with a shorthand, just type in margin 100 pixels from the top, auto on the right, 0 on the bottom, and auto on the left. So it's like a clock from top, right, bottom, left. So if we're going to preview this, as you can see, it pushed 100 pixels from the top. But we're not going to do that. Let's just put in 0 auto, since our layout has no margin on the top and on the bottom. So next is the header. The header has a background of pound 3333, so copy it, hit OK, and let's inspect the height of this container here. So look at on the information panel. In this case, it has a width of 960 by 100. But we need to resize it by pressing Ctrl T until it will reach the navigation, like that, since our navigation is part on our header section. So now, if we're going to Ctrl T again, 150. So go back here, specify we need to target what we named it. So go back on HTML, the header, the height is 150 pixels, and the background is the one with copy, which is 33333. And now we don't need to specify the width, since this header is displayed as block element. So this element here, the header, is dependent on what is the width on the main wrapper or the parent element. So the header, the parent element of the header, is the div with an ID of main wrapper. So if we're going to preview that, the width is automatically 960, since its parent has a size of 960. So let's try on other tags here for the section. For the section, the background is white. So for white, this will be FFFF. Copy it, then go back here. And to target the section with an ID of wrapper, we can type in section without space pound, then main content, or we can do this by just pound main content. Then let's add a property background, FFFF. And another property, since the main content is on the left, we need to tell the browser that we will place this on the left. And to achieve this on style.css, we need to call in the property float and put a value left. And also, we need to specify the width of this main content. So Control T again, select the layer, then Control T. And now look at on the information panel and place that value on our styles. Width is 660 pixels. We're going to preview it. Let's close this. No. And hit on refresh. Now the main content is on the left. As you can see, the sidebar and the footer was stacked into the right side. So how are you going to make this footer go back here and the sidebar still remain on the right? So for the sidebar, we target it by typing aside, specify the width again. So 660 or 960 minus 660, that will be 300 pixels. Then let's add a background. Go back to Photoshop, select eyedropper tool, then select this color, 5E5, copy, okay. Go back here, place, hit save, preview it. As you can see, the sidebar is go back to the bottom because we didn't tell the browser that we need to float this to the right. So hit on float right, preview it again. Now the sidebar is on the right, but the footer is following through. For now, let's specify a base height, for example 300 pixels, so that you can see, or 600 pixels. Preview. It's too big. Let's try 200, like that. So in order to place this footer down here, we need to target the footer and tell the browser that I don't want any floats to the right and left. So we will call in the clear property, and the value here will be both. So I want to clear left and right area. So if I'm going to refresh this, as you can see, it brings back on its position, which is right, because as you can see right here, our footer is on the bottom and with a background of background 3333. Save this. Now we have it. Also, in order to make this wrapper for the main content and to the sidebar automatically expand when we add more content right here, like for example, let's copy this text and we will remove the height, place it right here, long text, save. As you can see, the container of the aside is automatically resized based on height. So that is important, that we will not specify a height value if the container has lots of content and we don't know which exactly where it stops, or it don't have an exact height for it. So we only specify height for, in this case, on the header section, because it is fixed and we know that this right here will not change, and also in footer. So in footer, let's inspect this. The height of this is 50, so we need to go back onto the styles and apply a height of 50 pixels. Hit refresh. Let's delete this garbage here. Nope. So now we have that nicely laid out website. So that is the basics of CSS property to style the structure of the website. So on the next video, we will be talking about and applying our knowledge based on the tags and the CSS properties I've mentioned to complete this basic layout. So I'm excited on the next video, and I hope you guys like this tutorial, and feel free to ask questions on the comment section. So I'll catch you guys on the next video.